So, it is the 23rd of December, which means it's the 11th day of the Letters of Christmas Day creative challenges that have been put together by Beth over at Booksnest and Lauren over at Tea with Lauren, I think. I will put their information in the description below. Today is the second A, so it is the A in day, and it is for a gift. For a gift, I thought that it would be really nice to do the BookTube Gratitude Tag, because this is my little way of sort of giving back to the community and giving back to some of the booktubers who I've been following for a long time, who I really appreciate, who have been in contact with me and who've just made this whole entire journey so much more fun and a great experience in general. Anybody that I mention in this video, I will link all of their channel details in the description below. I highly recommend that you go and check all of them out because I think they're all fantastic and amazing. I haven't gone out of my way to make sure that I'm shouting out smaller booktubers. I have just picked people that I thought worked for each of the prompts. There are multiple people for multiple prompts, so that's how I'm kind of getting around that one. They are all booktubers who I really appreciate for various different reasons. This tag was created by Mer over at Mer Reads, I think. Her channel will be linked in the description below as well, and also her specific video where she created this tag. So again, go and check that out. I'm not going to tag anyone at the end of this, so if you are watching it and you think that sounds great, consider yourself tagged by me and go ahead and do it. Alright, so there are a number of different prompts with different aspects of the whole concept of BookTube and everything that goes into creating content for BookTube. So you'll also have to excuse me because I do have all of the questions and answers on the laptop, so I'm just going to be looking down for a little while. Prompt 1. Which booktuber has the best aesthetic? I've chosen two people for this one, and they are Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction and Cody from Cody's Book Corner. I really love what they film in front of and the way that they sort of dress up their set, as it were, where they're filming their book cases behind them always seem to be beautifully decorated, and they seem to just go out of their way to create a really lovely, really usually quite soft and pretty kind of atmosphere within which to film. I don't know if this is something they've created just for filming or if this is how their house looks in general, but I think it's really pretty and I really appreciate watching their videos for the lovely aesthetic. Prompt 2 is which booktuber has the best editing? So I really had to think about my answer for this one because I've noticed with quite a few of the different people that I've watched who have done this tag, they tend to choose people who edit in little clips from other videos or little photos or have various different points where they slow down or speed up, do close-ups, all of that sort of thing. That is not something that I typically tend to do, and depending on how the people do it and how often they insert, I don't tend to particularly enjoy that aspect of people's editing. I wouldn't say that I don't like it and it stops me from watching their videos by any means, and obviously if people want to do that, then go ahead and do that. That's part of our creativity, is to create our own editing and our own videos, and sometimes they can be really fun, but it's not something that I gravitate towards in terms of editing. So I have picked two people who I think do a really great job of really seamless editing, that seem to know how to pick the moments when it'll be the least intrusive to do that edit or that cut, or they pick a moment where they are doing a very deliberate swap from one thing to another and it fits in with the editing that they are doing. So the first person that I have chosen is actually Beth from Booksnest, who is the creator of this challenge. I think that, yeah, Beth just does really seamless editing, but I also really like the way that she does her wrap-ups and her TBRs, because she kind of does this thing where it looks like she's catching the book and it's sort of falling from the sky. I assume that she throws it up and then catches it, but then she edits that out really, really seamlessly, and it just looks, I really like the look of it. I think it's really, really cool. And the other person is Jenna from Just a Little Bit Random. Again, I think she has really seamless editing, so I don't really spot the moments where she's done a cut, but also she does do sometimes blooper videos, and she just has a reel of like different shots of herself making mistakes. Sometimes she does these as kind of music videos. I will link one that she did recently in the description below and in the eye. I think you should go and check it out because it's super fun. It's different points where she was creating different videos for the challenges for the Because We Can readathon, because she's one of the hosts. It's just, honestly, I don't know how, she must have planned so far in advance, but she has done it so that it looks like there are different, you know, those clips with like different actors who are singing the same bits of the song and they splice them together. She's done it like that, except that it's her the whole way through, but in different outfits and different costumes and different places. And the editing for something like that just must be so time consuming and so precise, and I think that's really an amazing skill. Now, like I said, all the other people that put insets and all that sort of thing, I think that's really skillful as well, but it tends to throw me out of the experience of what they're talking about a little bit. Like I said, I'm not having a go at those people, I'm just saying that's how I feel about it. So I don't do that, even though I think that it looks like they're having a fun time. I don't know if I'm making sense. Please don't get offended. If you're one of those people, you do you. I'm still going to watch your videos. Next question is, which booktuber do you love watching for their personality? I've actually chosen a few different people for this one. I really didn't know where to stop. Pretty much all of the booktubers that I have listed here for all of the questions are people whose personalities I really, really enjoy and who I think comes through really nicely in their videos, and you really get a sense of who they are and the kind of people that they are. So yeah, I really appreciate all of the people who I'm talking about and will be talking about for their personalities, but these are the people who I specifically turn to as I watch their videos because I love their personality and I love how it shines through and how they are just really authentically themselves in their videos. So the first one of these is Leanne from Literary Diversions. Leanne is just so funny, and in fact there is another question that's going to talk about funny booktubers, but she's so funny, but she also just really has such a way with words. She obviously brings so much of herself to her videos, so much of her personality to her videos. She does these videos where she has herself and her partner, who she refers to as lovely wife Helen, and the two of them together just have a beautiful dynamic. They really obviously care about each other, and it's just lovely to watch. So I really appreciate their videos that they do together, but I really appreciate Leanne's videos in general. She can be very salty with her opinions. As she says, she does this thing where she talks about books that she read as tops and bottoms, so like the best books and the worst books of the month or the season or whatever it might be. Just is really very sassy and salty with her opinions, and I really love that. I think it's really fun and really funny, but at the same time she's not afraid to really gush over books that she's really loved, and I just really, really appreciate that. And you can tell how much she loves reading and books and loves making booktube content. So I really love Leanne for that reason. Then we have Helen from Helen's Bookhaven. Helen from Helen's Bookhaven is relatively new to booktube, but I've known her for a while now because she ran the Eurovision-a-thon readathon last year over on Twitter, and I joined in that. It looked like lots of fun, and it was lots of fun, and she ran that really well. And we've sort of been in contact off and on since then, and then she started doing booktube herself a couple of months ago, I think, and she's just really embraced the whole experience. She's really getting out there doing lots of different content, and she's just got a lovely, quiet, peaceful way about her. You can tell she's very friendly, very loving. She obviously cares very deeply about her family. She talks about her daughter Sophie a lot, and it's obvious how much Sophie means to her. Yeah, she's just got such a beautiful, lovely way about her. So I've really enjoyed watching her videos, and it's really been nice to see her confidence grow over the last couple of months and her enjoyment of creating the content that she does. So yeah, Helen is another person whose personality I think is just adorable. Then I have Simone from Me, Simone and I think again Simone has a really calming presence on her videos. She's a really calming presence on BookTube. I find her just really relaxing to watch. She's always positive. Even when she doesn't like something, she can still find something positive to say about it. She always expresses that it's not for her rather than there's being something wrong with the book, and it's just a really calming, gentle, kind way of talking about books and about BookTube in general. I really enjoy watching Simone. Then we have Victoria from What Victoria Read. I think Victoria is probably one of the nicest booktubers that I watch. She is just so obviously so appreciative of all of the people that she interacts with, all of the contacts that she gets from people, the gifts she gets from people, all of that sort of thing. She's obviously just so grateful for all of that, and she makes a point of shouting out all of the people that she thinks really highly of on BookTube and off BookTube. So she talks about her son and her husband and her friends and her family really in such a nice way and such an appreciative way. And yeah, she just seems like the kind of person that I really would like to sit down with her and have a coffee and chat about books. And that's how I feel when I watch her videos. I feel like I'm sitting with a friend and we're just having a chat about books. There's one more person that I want to talk about, I should say, for the personality question, and that is Chloe from Chloe Reads Books. She is another person whose personality just shines through in her videos. She is very authentically herself. She talks about her life and her experiences dating her partner who lives in the States and she's from the US and the States and she's from the UK. She talks about that with such honesty, and she's very forthright about how that's going and her experiences, and I just really appreciate the authenticity that Chloe brings to BookTube. And she's very direct and she's very to the point, but she's also very honest, but she's also just very gentle in all of that. So she'll say what she thinks of something. She doesn't have to, put it down. She just expresses what she thinks if she doesn't like it. But equally, if she likes something, she will tell you how amazing it is. And I just really appreciate that. And I just really enjoy watching Chloe's videos. I find them really gentle, and I really, again, feel like I'm chatting with her and I'm just kicking back and having a coffee and chatting about books with a friend. So thank you to those people who I've talked about who make me feel like I'm just hanging out and chatting with friends whenever I watch your videos. That's an amazing skill and I really appreciate it. The next question is, who has super original content? So, like I just said before I started talking about all the people whose personalities I think are amazing, pretty much everyone I talk about have amazing personalities. That is why I watch their videos. Super original content, I am going to talk about Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. So he has very original content both in what he talks about and the way he presents what he talks about. Gavin, as I'm sure most people know by now, he's fairly big and he runs Believeathon, which is one of the most amazing readathons out there. On his channel, he promotes primarily middle grade fiction. He is probably the biggest advocate for middle grade fiction that I watch. I don't know if his intention was to create a BookTube channel that was designed to promote middle grade fiction, but that seems to be what he's sort of fallen into, and he does it really, really well, and he's always really enthusiastic about middle grade fiction. He's always really excited about middle grade fiction, and he is making it his mission to tell us all about some amazing middle grade fiction, which I think is just wonderful. And then as to his content, it's super original because it's always so fun and funny and silly. He has created a TBR game that is like nothing I've seen for TBR games before. He dresses up in various different outfits to do various different things. Yeah, and it's just really fun and a nice breath of fresh air, and someone who doesn't take themselves super seriously, but at the same time takes their mission, if you will, quite seriously. And he goes out of his way to promote really good middle grade fiction, and really middle grade fiction that has not just good content, but that has a good message or that has good representation. But within that, he doesn't take himself super seriously, and he just has fun and gets dressed up in costumes, is not afraid to be silly, and I just love that. Like I said, it's like a breath of fresh air, and it's really, really nice to watch. And then the other person that I want to talk about here is Kat from Stars and Embers. So Kat is a really fun booktuber. She does the usual content like TBRs, wrap-ups, all of that sort of thing, but she also does loads of different kind of skits where she'll dress up in various different costumes and pretend to be various different characters from both books and TV and movies, and that's always really fun. She seems to just really try to come up with interesting and different content that I really appreciate and I think is really fun. And the other thing about Kat is that she was one of the first people to contact me when I started my booktube channel and welcome me to the community, and I just really appreciate that. And I just, yeah, I've always had a really special place for Kat in my heart because of that, because she went out of her way to contact someone who was very new, and I really appreciate that. I feel like we've become friends over the time we've been, you know, chatting with each other via BookTube and then running the Christmas Games readathon that we ran just recently. So thank you, Kat. Yeah, that's amazing. Next up is who has the best reading vlogs. There's only one person that I could shout out at this point, and that is Mary from Mary Among Stories. She has such beautiful, calming, lovely vlogs. You get a real sense that she is just chilling out, reading books. She always has a lovely candle going. She has beautiful music, very soft, quiet, lovely music. She slows everything down and just calms everything down, and I just think they're beautiful. I love them so much. I really enjoy watching Mary Among Stories vlogs. Alright, then we have who is the funniest booktuber that you watch? I have two people for this one. Now, I did mention Leanne from Literary Diversions is very funny, so she could have got this one as well, but I thought that her personality was just amazing. But then again, the people who I'm about to talk about are also amazing and I love their personalities, so anyone could fit anywhere really. But the people who I think are the funniest are Connor from Connor's Library Corner. First of all, he's funny because he just is. The way that he expresses himself is amusing. He doesn't pull any punches, which I usually find quite amusing, but he does some really funny, really silly, really just fun videos. He's another person who is not afraid to do silly things, who doesn't take himself too seriously. He recently did a video where he was a Never Have I Ever, which is usually a drinking game, but instead of having a drinking game, he had found these chili gummy bears, and every time a question he had done that thing, he had to eat a chili gummy bear, and I feel bad because it was so funny to watch, even though it looked like he was having a really awful time. And he said that he felt sick up until like the middle of the next day after filming that. So I do kind of feel bad for having laughed so hard at that video, but it was just so funny. His reactions to the gummy bears was hilarious. The way that he expressed himself was hilarious. And, you know, props for continuing with it, because I don't know if I could have done. I might have just been like, you know what? No. From the first gummy bear that he had, he was just horrified and gagging, but he still kept going and made a really funny video. Yeah, I think Connor's amazing. The other person is Casey from Lost in a Bookcase. I just find her way of expressing herself really funny as well. In fact, she could have been the original question as well. I just think that she is just so original, even when she is doing something as simple and straightforward as a TBR or a wrap-up. She finds some way to make it a little bit more different and funny and interesting, and I just really appreciate watching her. I'm always laughing when I do watch her videos. Hello, Editing Mel here. I just wanted to jump in because there was one person that sprung to mind when I first read the questions for the funniest booktuber, and then when I actually wrote them all down, managed to entirely forget to actually put this person's name in there, so sorry. And that person is Kaz from Cats and Camera. She's also very direct, which is similar to quite a few people I've talked about here, but something about her specific brand, as it were, of directness I find really amusing. When she's got a long video, or even a short one really, she'll say, and now a message from our sponsors, and then she'll just show a little video of one or more of her cats, and I just think that just cracks me up every time. But also her cats are super cute. So yeah, just wanted to jump in and So Kaz as well. Then we have the question, who is the best reviewer? And it says someone who will talk about a book and you will automatically add it to your TBR even if you don't read from that genre. The first person I want to talk about, that isn't entirely true, what's in brackets that I just read out, but I definitely think she's the best reviewer, and that is Kat from Brews and Reviews. I love watching her complaints with Kat videos. She reads these books that she knows full well are going to be dreadful, and she just she makes like a vlog where she just is like, oh god, what am I reading? Why am I reading this? And they're just so funny to watch. I don't know why she puts herself through that kind of pain, but she just does it so well. I really enjoy those reviews, partly because they're funny and they're a bit different, but also I actually think that she does a really great job of describing what the book is about and describing what it is about the book that she doesn't like. And what it is that is difficult. So she doesn't just kind of go, oh, this is so stupid. Like, she actually gives you an explanation about what it is that's going on, whether it be the way that the author has written, or whether it would be the way they've written characters, or whether it be pacing, or whatever it might be. She really gives you an explanation as to why she is having trouble with that book. She also does regular reviews and wrap-ups and that sort of thing. She, again, is really great at giving you really good descriptions of the book without giving spoilers, to give you an idea of what sort of book it is and what is happening so you can decide whether to read it or not, but also of expressing her opinion about the book, what she liked and didn't like. And she goes into detail to do with things like the plot structure, the characterization, atmosphere, all of the stuff that I personally find really relevant when I'm trying to decide whether I want to read a book. So I love Kat's reviews. And the other person is Emma from Drinking by Myself, by my shelf, I should say. Emma is another person who I could easily have put into the best personality, funniest, but I really love the way that she reviews books. Again, I think she is a person who is very happy to tell you what she thinks of things, but she gives you really good detail about the book, about the experience, about the way that it was written, the good points and the bad points. If she doesn't like something, she has no problem saying it, but she will tell you why, but also she will go out of her way to tell you that it's her opinion. I love Emma for all of those reasons, and also just because she's extremely funny and I think that she seems like a lot of fun. So that's that one. And the last question is, which booktuber has reading taste that aligns with yours? And then it says in brackets, someone who you always go to for book recs. So all of these people are people who I go to for book recs. Even when we don't necessarily have similar genres, I still think that their book recommendations are really great. And so I always go to all of these people. But I've got 3 people who I think has very similar book taste to me. The first person is Faye from Mystery Date with a Book. And I think for the most part agree on, well, most of the books that we have read in common we agree on, and we have similar opinions about and similar tastes to what we like to read. She reads a lot of fantasy, as do I. Next person is Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts. So Jean and I think have similar opinions about, I feel like we seem like we are kind of similar in taste in general. She's doing a PhD in classics, so she went a lot further than I did, but I did an undergrad degree and an honours diploma in classics, so I think that we have a similar background, similar knowledge base, although like I said, hers is far and away more in depth than mine. I think it has led us to have similar tastes, but also she reads a lot of fantasy and I read a lot of fantasy. I think she grew up reading a lot of fantasy, as did I. Always get excited about books that she talks about that I haven't read yet, and any book that we have both read for the most part, particularly when it's fantasy, we agree. So Jean. And the last person is Murphy from Murphy Napier. So Murphy, as I'm sure everybody is aware, is one of the biggest booktubers around, so I feel a bit funny comparing myself to Murphy. I feel like it's kind of like comparing yourself to Julia Roberts or something, but I do think we have similar taste. Most of the books that I have read that she has also read, she has appreciated as much as I have. She loves Neil Gaiman, I love Neil Gaiman. She loves The Lord of the Rings, I love The Lord of the Rings. She's another person who I really loved her reviews. She's been on BookTube for a long time, so she's definitely perfected the art of reviews. She also does critiques and she obviously does that really well as well, and she's a really good critiquer. So I'll definitely take her opinion no matter what, but especially because I do think we have fairly similar opinions. Those are all the questions. I have talked about a lot of different booktubers, and I probably talked more than I necessarily needed to, but there are so many people I wanted to talk about. There are so many other people who I watch who I haven't mentioned in this video. If you're one of the people and you're wondering why I haven't spoken about you, please don't be offended. There are only a few questions and I'd be here forever if I talked about all the people that I love. Yeah, there are so many booktubers out there who just do an amazing job and who I definitely think that we should all support. But these are the people that sprang to mind when I was looking at this tag. Like I said at the beginning, I won't be tagging anyone. If you want to do this video, please go ahead. Please comment below and let me know if there's anybody that you felt really strongly about when you heard these questions, what you think of the choices that I made, and if you want to leave an emoji, that'd be amazing. Leave me a happy face emoji. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.